Congratulations, now you just admit that you procrastinate. But come on, let's be real. We all procrastinate from time to time. As a student, I totally understand you. You know what? I procrastinate too. So I'm Rachel, and in this video, I'll be sharing you some of my tips to overcome procrastination and staying on track, especially when you have your important exams and deadlines. So tip number 1, reflect. Reflection, okay? Reflect why you are procrastinating. Sometimes we tend to procrastinate when we're scared to do something or when something seems very overwhelming to us. For instance, if you're afraid that you won't succeed at a task, you might delay to do it to avoid facing the potential failure. Likewise, if you're afraid of public speaking or presentation, you will probably procrastinate and delay that work to the last minute because you're scared to do that. And yes, most of the time we procrastinate because we are just lazy. But if you procrastinate because of fear of something, it's good to reflect on it, and it's better to recognize your fear and overcome that fear first in order to overcome procrastination. Alright, so now let's move on to another tip. My tip number 2 is create a steady routine and stick to it. One of the best ways to stay productive is to establish a routine that works best for you. This can help you to get into a flow and make it easier to get started on your work. So to create a steady routine, start by determining your most productive hours. Everyone's schedule is different. Like some people prefer to work at night and some people prefer to work in the morning. So it's important to find which time works best for you. For example, if you work best in the morning, schedule a lot of study sessions and revision sessions in your morning. For me, I'm a night owl and I feel more productive at night, so I like to schedule my study sessions for later in that day. By planning your study sessions around your natural rhythm, you'll be able to work more efficiently and effectively. Also, when creating a steady routine, it's also important to schedule your breaks and leisure time in order to avoid burnout. For example, you might take a 15-minute break every hour, or maybe like 1 hour break after you study for like 3-4 hours. Remember to also add some activities that you enjoy doing, such as exercising or reading or going for a walk, just to keep yourself motivated and not to be so bored by your steady routine and to keep you energized. Alright, so now let's move on to another tip. Number 3, make a clear to-do list before you go to bed. After you decided your routine, it is important to create a complete to-do list for the next day, because starting your day with a clear plan can help you feel more organized and less overwhelmed. So one effective way to do this is, like I mentioned in my previous video, identify your most important task and break it down into smaller, more manageable steps. Also, it's important to be realistic with your to-do list and not to overload yourself with too many tasks, because you know what, when we see so many tasks in our to-do list, sometimes instead of feeling motivated, we kind of feel discouraged to complete the task. And also, I do aware that some people like to start their day by doing the most important and the most challenging task first, but for me, I like to start my day with something that is easy and do the most challenging task later in the day, maybe like in the afternoon, because I feel like by completing some easy task in the morning, it gives me more motivation to complete more tasks for the whole day. Okay, so now next tip is tip number 4, change your environment every 3-4 hours. You know what, studying in the same place for so long can make you feel bored. So if you're studying at home, maybe try and move to a different room, or maybe go outside to get some fresh air. If you're studying in the library, maybe move to another seat, or maybe move to another wing of the library, because this change of scenery can avoid you from feeling bored of studying. Also, you can consider studying in a cafe or maybe even park. Sometimes I do go to parks just to study. So yeah, just consider that too. Okay, so now my last and final tip, the tip number 5, is always use a reward system. Rewarding yourself after completing a task or reaching a milestone can help you stay motivated and make studying even more enjoyable. Also, when you have a reward to look forward to, you're more likely to study harder to reach that reward. For example, my rewards always have food. After studying for a whole day, I always treat myself by cooking some food that I enjoy, or even having some dinner with my friend. Actually, you know what, rewards can be anything. It can be having a dinner with your friend, maybe going out with your friend and watching movies together, or maybe even at home, chill, Netflix with some popcorns and soda. Here, one important thing to bear in mind is that when you set a reward or when you set your goals, don't make it too easy, because if the reward is too easy to get, you are not really motivated to get the reward. So set goals and rewards that are challenging yet achievable. Alrighty, so these are some of my tips to overcome procrastination. So in summary, tip number 1, reflect why you are procrastinating. Tip number 2, create a steady routine that works best for you and stick to it. Tip number 3, make a clear to-do list before you go to bed. Tip number 4, change the environment every 3-4 hours. And tip number 5, use a reward system. Alrighty, so now you know the tips, so just give it a try and let me know if that works for you. Thanks for watching, and please stop procrastinating and please go and study now. Bye bye and see you in the next video.